we are going to jump in. I'm going to start sharing my screen with you and going through the marketing tools that you have available. So you should be able to see my screen now, and this is your IQ office. So when you log into your IQ office, you have an opportunity to really go in and interact with your people in a digital way. And so today we're really going to be focusing on this marketing tab and what you can do in this marketing tab, as well as one item that's underneath tools, just so that you're in the loop with what that is. So to begin, we're going to start up at the top with ordering and my orders. So ordering digital content from IQ Office and getting postcards out to your sphere is now available to you. So to get there, you go to marketing and then to my orders. Once you click on my orders, you will open up your main marketing dashboard. And when you do that, you can actually just click on create an order. And this will open up wizard. And as you're scrolling through, you can see a lot of postcard content. If you want to filter the content, you can go to the category and you can filter it by agent promotion, home listed, just reduced, open house, and you can really narrow down what it is that you're looking for. When you're creating content for a postcard, it acts very similarly to how we create print and email marketing content, and we're going to do that next. So if you know that we're going to do it again. So as you scroll through, you can say, okay, well, I really like this green open house postcard, and you can click select. And then what it's going to do is it's going to bring up the postcard. And so I can actually go in, I can say, okay, here it is, and see where it says property address, beds, bath, square footage. You can actually go in and you can manually edit all that if you want, or you can click on this button in the upper right-hand corner that says select property. And when you do that, it actually is going to link through to your MLS feed, and it's going to allow you to select the property. It never fails that when you want things to go quickly, they scroll. So I can actually scroll through here. I can say, hey, I want to do this Angel Lake Road listing. And now it's going to insert, it's going to reach out and it's going to insert all of that information into the postcard for me. Once it's in the postcard, you can, of course, go in and actually edit that information if you would like. So if you don't like this main photo that shows, I can actually click on the pencil and I can go in and I can edit the image. I can go to the property and I can select from different property images. I can choose from my images, or I can upload an image. So if I wanted to choose the plot map, I can then go and highlight what I want this property to look like and click save. It will automatically default to the right shape of layout, cropping wise, for what will look best inserted there. I can also edit anything that has a pencil. So as I hover over these items, you can see in the lower right-hand corner this pencil, and anything that has a pencil in it, I can edit. So if I don't want this to say the address in the beds and bathroom, I can just highlight and I can say great building opportunity. And click OK, and it will automatically insert my text. As I scroll down, I can also edit on the back side. So I can go in and I can edit my information. I can edit all of this text. I can edit my photo. I can edit anything that highlights with a pencil. Once I've made all my changes, you're going to click the next button. And when you click the next button, it's going to open up the order form. And what it's going to do is it's going to ask you what you would like to add. So do you want to add your contacts? Your contacts will automatically fill in this contact types. You can also say, hey, I want to include contacts with no types, and you can move them to your contacts. It also shows you the pricing right above for what the cost per postcard is. I can say, hey, I want some delivered to my office. A minimum order quantities are 100. So I can say, hey, I want 100 delivered to my office. I want to mail them out myself, so the stamp comes from actually my zip code. That's up to you. I also can say, hey, I want to do a targeted mailing. So what it does is it automatically grabs the listing from MLS. Angel. And then I went and typed Angel Point Road. I can put in the area, the address that I want. It will automatically default to the address you have in the postcard or content, but you can go in and change that. And you can say, hey, I want 200 actually targeted to that location. Once you've selected your quantity, you're going to go ahead and click next. And when you do that, all you're going to do is be reviewing all your information. So I'm having 100 delivered to the office. I'm having none go to my contacts. I'm having 200 go to a targeted group. My total is going to be $165. And then I click submit order. What you're going to get when you click submit order is a credit card purchasing form. I'm in a demo account. In order for me to go all the way through the demo and show you this screen, they have to disable that screen for you, but you're going to put in your credit card information. It's going to charge you right there for it, and your cards are going to go into production. I can see here that the status of my order for my postcards is pending and that my payment is pending. Once your payment processes, it will say processed. It will also show you the statistics of what's happened in the right-hand side. So how many mailings have been completed, how many are pending, and if you have any that have been rejected for any reason, it will show you in that box right there. Tammy, I have, yeah, so that mailing does, that cost per postcard includes, unless you're having them delivered to the office, it does include the postage. Tammy, I've had some people say, and Lewis, if you can't see my screen, you may have to log out and log back in. Or if you're using Safari on a Mac, the software is not that compatible with Safari, but you can use it on Google or Firefox on a Mac, and it should work. Alrighty, so that is the orders. In that order form, there are a whole bunch of different things. So you can go in and you can actually do an agent promotion. So you can actually go and send out something that says, are you looking for an agent? You can send out things that say just sold. So if you want to send just sold postcards, you can send just sold postcards. You can do a home value. So you can say, hey, how much is your home worth? What does this look like? And you can actually preview this. So if you want to just see what it looks like without clicking through, you can preview what that looks like. I do want to just quick go through one thing with that, what's my home worth? So on everybody's webpage, you have the What's My Home Worth tool, and this works really well in markets that are in states where it's a disclosure state. So there's this tool called What's My Home Worth. And when you click on it, you can actually enter a property address. And this is a two-part lead. And let's see if I can do one in it somewhere else. Because I'm in a demo account, it's not going to work. So they're going to put their address in. They're going to click Get Report, and then they're going to put their information in, and they're going to get an automated home value. This is a great link to share on your social media. To do that, all you have to do is highlight the link. You can hit Control X, and then you can Control Paste it into your status on your Facebook page, and you can change it. You also can hit Control X, and you can go to this Tools or Preferences button, and you can go and create a QR code. So you can actually go in and create a QR code. You would put the web address in to that box, and you would click Finish. Then you have this QR code that you can save. And where that becomes really cool is if you're doing a postcard, say you're doing a home value postcard, you can actually insert that QR code into that postcard. So I can say home value postcard, what's my home worth, and I'm going to insert it into that card. So I can actually say, hey, I want to insert that QR code into my postcard. And then I can say, instead of contact me today, I can say, scan the code to get more information. I can actually say, hey, that, and then I can add a second line if I would want to and say, so I can actually go in and I can say, want more information? Let's call me, let's have coffee, scan the code on the right to get more information right now. I can change all of this information so I can actually put my photo on the back and have a different photo on the front. If I don't like this background photo, I can change that. So that's just another way that you can use that tool. I did want to show you that tool was there underneath your tools and preferences. Let's see. There's a question about the mailing that says, does the targeted mailing include addresses from that zip? So Amy, what I think you're asking is, do you get a list of those addresses that it mails to? I don't know the answer to that. I need to find that answer out. And I think that's the question that Patricia asked as well. And yes, Stephen, you can add your own content. You can create your own content to the best of my knowledge. So the next question I have is the QR code specific for home or generic? So what I did, Nikki, is with that QR code is I actually linked it to that website. So it's not going to any specific home. It's actually going to open up this website for them so that they can put in their information for their home, and you can use it on a postcard with in an area. So you're not having to create a new QR code for each property. You're creating a QR code for this exact link so that anybody that has that code can scan it and it opens up that link for them. Does that make sense? You can use that QR code for any link that you want. So if you have a different link that you want to use, or you want to use like the property website that's branded, you can create a QR code for any website that you would like. Kendra, we have not gotten to your question yet. We are going to get to your question. Okay, so it looks like I've got most of the questions about the mailing and the QR code links, but I do want to just quickly go through a couple other things so that you're aware, including how do you share your listing on Facebook. So first, I'm going to go into marketing again, and what we're going to do is we're going to go through print marketing and e-marketing, and what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to create content. So you can actually go in and you can go to My Saved Content on either one of these screens, and it's going to open up your main content dashboard. So this is what my main content dashboard looks like. I can create a lot of content if I would like. If your company has created content, it will show underneath the company content button. For the managers that are on the call, if you want to create company content, you're actually going to go, there's an admin button down here that you see in your login, and you would go to admin and you would create content underneath company content. We are doing a webinar for managers coming up on that as well. So I'm just going to go in. If you've never created content, you'll see this green button that says create content. You also can go up in the upper right-hand corner and you can click on add content here. And that is going to open up a wizard that looks remarkably similar to how the order card looks. So I can go in and I can see all my content. I can see only content that is available to email, or I can see content that is only available to print. You choose what you're going to do with this content and choose what works best for you. I'm going to go ahead and select all content, and I just want to show you a quick way to filter because there's a lot, like you could scroll forever. So I'm actually going to go through. You can choose realistic templates or company templates, and then you have a whole bunch of categories. So I can actually scroll through and I can see that there are portals or property flyers or letters that I can use. There's events. And what I want to just show you is first this portal template. So I can actually go in and I can edit the portal content. So if you set up a customer for a portal on your website, once I edit this content, it's going to change the letter that goes out to them. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to change this content and I'm going to change it to my portal email. And then I see how it highlights blue. I can click on this content and now I can edit it. So I can actually go in and say, hey, I want this to say something that's more personal. Hey, welcome to my company's name, your portal login. I'm super excited to serve you as your real estate agent. I also know that having the convenience of information at your fingertips is important. So you can log in, save properties, share your link, do all that here. All your information automatically goes here. You don't want to change these things that are in the bullets because that's going to automatically fill for you. And then once you're done editing, you click OK. And then you have the chance to save and get HTML, which means you can embed it on your website. You can save and email it because this is an email template, or you can just save that content. Before you click save, I highly recommend adding a category to your content, because as you create more and more content, it's really nice to be able to go in and filter them. So I can actually hit close, and then I can see here in my content categories, I've got a new content that says my portal email. You can create as much content as you would like. I do want to walk you through just a couple other types of content quickly so that you can see what some options are. So if you want to create something that is totally your own content, perhaps you have something like a newsletter that you want to do, you can create a newsletter from a blank content, or you could also go in and there are newsletter layouts. So I can choose my newsletter. I could go in though and I could say, hey, maybe you want to feature 3 communities and say something like, I want to say like, hey, this is this community, or this community. So you want to do like Lakeview East Side, Lakeview West Side, Lakeview South Side, and then what all the information is. And again, anytime you see that pencil show up, you can edit the content. If you're going to insert a photo, you can actually go in and you can choose from my images, or you can upload your own images. You can go in and you can edit all your text. You can also add contact text to automatically fill. So I could actually say, hello, contact name. And it would automatically change for each contact I was sending out. And again, I'm going to name that content. And I'm going to give it a category name. And I'm going to, this is one that I can save and print, save an email, or just save. I also want to show you that this is something where you can select a property. So you could actually go in and I could say, hey, I want to select property to be inserted in, and I'm going to do 3 columns about that property. You choose what kind of content. We've tried really hard to give you the option to go in and change what that looks like. So you can create content here. I would recommend going in and looking at that and seeing what you can do. You also can access that content then to make drip marketing campaigns. And that's where we're going to go next. I want to make sure that nobody has questions. Nikki, I don't know that I understand your question, so I'm going to come back to you. Don't leave the webinar without asking that question. I'll unmute you so we can ask it when we get to that section a little bit further. So the next thing I want to show you is how to make a drip marketing campaign. So after you've gone in and you've created some content, you can actually link it to a campaign. And I love drip marketing campaigns for a couple reasons. One, your marketing is only as good as your measuring. And I want to show you what that measuring looks like. So let me just open up another site here that actually has some campaigns that are being used. And I want to just show you. So I can actually go in and I can see campaigns that have gone out. I can see how many events there have been, how many attempts have been sent out, how many have been sent, how many have been viewed, how many are on the do not send. I can go in, I can drill down and look at all my campaigns. I can see who my top viewers are. I can see my top events. I can also go in and I can say, hey, I need to actually talk to Ed. And so I can click on a content right from here. And if I need to email or log a call or add them to an action plan, I can actually do that from the campaign screen. I also can open up a campaign and I can start to drill down and see just for that campaign what's happened. I can also click on any of these options and preview the item, or I can click underneath the clicks and I can see exactly who's clicked it and when they've clicked it. I can go underneath the views and I can see who's viewed and what the last view time was. I can see what my top views were for that campaign. I also can go in for each event and I can see, I want to see the activity for this event, and it's going to pull up all the activity for just that event. So why do you care? If you're sending out emails or you're sending out information and you want to know if someone's clicking on it and reading it and getting it and engaging with you, this is how you do it. All of these things add up. So I can see, hey, this was sent and Rose Collins did not look at it. But I can see that the lowest team did. I can see that it was sent, it was delivered, they looked at it on July 23rd, and they looked at it twice. I want to know that the content I'm creating is A, being received, if it's being opened, and why that was open versus something else. So how do you go about making a campaign? So once you're in that marketing screen, you can actually go in and you can click on the marketing and then on the My Campaigns button, and it opens up your campaign dashboard. If your company has set up campaigns, you can go to company campaigns, and this is where you can add people to a company campaign. So I could add people to this 4th of July campaign that the company has. You cannot edit a company campaign unless you are an admin. So if you're an admin or a manager, you can edit a company campaign. If you are an agent, you cannot. I also want to point out that there's an event campaign, or underneath here, you see where it says contact campaign. So the difference in an event campaign and a contact campaign is this. On an event campaign, you add your people. So your company creates the event and you add people to the events. For a contact campaign, your company controls the people and you control the content. So I can actually go in and I can create an event for this contact list. So if your company maintains like a referral list of all the agents that your companies have referral business with, or everyone in your MLS, or everyone in your association of realtors, or something like that, that's an example of a contact campaign. So a contact campaign, you add an event to, an event campaign, you add an event to. That's underneath company campaigns. If you want to create your own campaigns, you are going to create an event campaign. So you would just click, if you've never created one, to go to click your campaign, the green button, or you can go to plus campaign in the upper right-hand corner, and you're going to name the campaign first. So I like to name campaigns so I know what content is in them. It can be something like a new open house client or a potential client campaign. You could have something that was a referral agent campaign. You could have something that was a past client campaign. You could have something that was a friends and family campaign. You name a that campaign name is. And then below that, you're going to choose the content for your first event. And you can choose from IQ templates, company templates, company content, or your personal content. So that content that you're creating, I can actually go in and I can say, hey, I want my portal email to be the first email in here. The subject is going to be great to meet you. I can send it using a date. If I send using a date, I choose the specific date that it goes on. I think for this event, a date doesn't make sense because if it passes, it will never send again. You can choose a month. So if you want content to go out on the first of every month, you can use a month. If you use a holiday or birthday, you're going to choose, do I want it to go out on a birthday or Thanksgiving or 4th of July or New Year's, what holiday or birthday? You also can choose interval. So this is how many days after you add the person to the campaign do you want the content to send. So for the content we're using here, which is my portal account created, I think this makes sense. I want this to send 1 day after I add the person to the campaign. I do want to quick go through the other options. So you can send it on a day of the week. So I can say, hey, I want this to go out on Mondays or Tuesdays, or a transaction date. So you can say, hey, I want this to go out 1 month after the transaction, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, however long after the transaction. I'm going to go ahead and leave this as interval. You also can create a campaign that has multiple types of events. So you're only setting this in this send using for this event. So I could say, I want this portal to go out 1 day after, but then I could also add content that was a listing of the week that went out on a specific day, or a newsletter that went out once a month, or I could add all my sold welcome home stuff to this campaign, and it could go out 1 month after the transaction closed, and then it is in there and set and ready to go. Do you want this to be active or inactive? And send after time. If you leave this as anytime, it's going to go out at midnight. And what most of us do is if we get something that goes out at midnight is we get to our inbox in the morning and we delete it. So I highly recommend that you choose a time. And when you go in and you do that, you just say, hey, I want this to go out at 9 a.m. And then this says next. I'm in a demo account, so this will say next. You click next. I want to change it for only this event. You have the option to add recipients here by clicking add recipients, or you can click finish and done, and you'll go back to your main campaign. To add additional events to your campaign, you click on that campaign and you add an event. You can add recipients to that campaign by clicking on plus recipients. And here you can choose, hey, I want a contact type, or I want agents, or I want certain mail groups. So you choose who goes on that campaign. So that is how you do the e-marketing drip campaigns. I really like it because, Nikki, I'm going to come back to you in just a sec. I really like it because I can actually create content and I can set it and forget it. I also try to create content only in 3-month spurts. So things change really quickly in real estate. I think whatever you're doing now is going to affect your business in the next 90 days. So I work 90 days out. Like, here's my content creation for the next 90 days. I know a little bit about what's going to be happening by the end of March. And in February, I'm working on what's happening in my April. And in March, I'm working on what's going to be happening in my May, so that I have a rolling calendar and I'm not getting so far ahead of myself that things are changing and I'm losing quality content. So that is how you create a campaign. I just want to make sure I don't have any other questions on campaigns. I do have one. Michelle has okay. So I do want to answer a couple questions. How do you add the contact name and info to populate? Michelle, I want to just quickly show you that again. So I can actually go in, I can edit this event. And when I do that, you see this add to text at the top. I can say, welcome to my portal. And I can actually, if I want to insert, I just click where I want to insert that name. And then I hit this select button. and then it enters in, and it will automatically fill out that contact first name. The next question that was asked is, what's the best way to keep your emails to going to a spam folder? And this is something that we all deal with all the time. The best thing to do is make sure your subject line is good information without a bunch of garbly gook. So don't put something in there like that's super generic, like listing at 12345 Street. There's a lot of that goes out. People ignore it. So make sure your email greeting is personal. Also make sure that you're going in and you're creating really good content. Try not to have attachments to your emails. If you do want to attach a file here, you can do that. You can do it through a hyperlink in your home folder. That helps a lot. That's also part of the reason that I only schedule 90 days out, because I feel like if I'm controlling the content and people are opening my emails and I'm tracking what's being opened and not opened, I have a better gauge on what to put in that subject line. How do you preview the options? So we have campaigns and we don't know what's in them. So you can actually go in, and if you're in the event, you can preview it. So underneath that actions button, there's a preview for each event, and you can close it. If I want to see what the company content is, so I go to company campaigns and I say, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I say, hey, I want to see this holiday campaign. I go to actions and I go to preview, and then I can preview what is in there. Are there other sizes to postcards besides 5x3? I would have to look at all those templates. I believe they are all 5x3, but I also believe they all show it. So let's go back there. I believe they're just all 5x3. I could be wrong, but I think they are. Let me ask and get that information. I'll post it on the Facebook page. Okay, so the next, oh, there is. Emily, we're getting there. And yes, I can. So the next thing I want to talk about is marketing your listings. I have about 10 minutes left before I really want to open it up to broad questions and get back to some people who asked questions that I didn't understand via text. So I want to make sure I have a chance to talk to those people as well. But I'm actually going to go in and I want to talk about listings. So when you get your new listing, I'm going to share some information with you all. You get an email, and the email says, hey, congratulations on your new listings. And let's see, it's just uploading real quick. Congratulations on your new listing. This is what you can do with it. So here's the information that you get, and it says, hey, congratulations. Here's your listing. Here's the details. Here's the single listing website. Here's the showcase website. You can actually go in and you can download or customize a flyer, and you can order flyers right from here. So the first thing I want to show you is how do you choose what your default flyer is, because I think that's important and it will save you time. So in your profile, you click on your name and you go to profile and you go over to the preferences tab. And about halfway down that screen, there's a section that says marketing. Yeah, right here, default property flyer. So you can actually go in and select your default property flyer here, and it will always use that flyer that you have selected. So I can say, hey, I want to go into a general property flyer. I like this red one. And now it's always going to use that in this email that you get that has this property flyer. So here where you want to, you can either download that flyer instantly or you can customize it here. You also can order your postcards right from that link. And so if you want to upload contacts, it's going to walk you through a wizard. You have to have a CSV file. A CSV file is a comma separated value file. And so if you have an Excel sheet with all of your contacts, you can go in and save that as a CSV file. And it's going to look very similar to going when you import your contacts here. So customer relations, import my contacts. And when you do that, you can say you're going to go next. You're going to choose a file. I think I have a file in here. And does the first row contain names, yes or no? And I want to import it into my lead. So I can actually go in and I can say, okay, this is their first name. I want to import this too. And I choose first name. And you take the time to go through and make sure that the last name is what's in this column. And anything that you say ignore, it's not going to import. Once you go through and you match all the columns up, you're going to click next at the very bottom of the screen. On the very right-hand side, it's going to say, hey, we're importing 2 files. There's 590. We're not skipping any lines. And then you click next and it will begin the import. I don't want to import these people, so I'm not going to click next. And then you click finish, and that's how you upload a CSV file. And that's the same way that you would do it for if you wanted to upload it to when you're ordering your postcards. I think I hope that answered your questions. Oh, here. I just found that out, Jim. Let me go back and we're going to do that again because you didn't see my screen. I thought I could do both at the same time. Okay, you should be able to see my screen again now. So you go to customer relations and then you go to import contacts. And this acts very similar to when you click order that postcard. And you're going to see a wizard. Can everybody see this wizard that popped up? And then, okay, so I have a pop-up screen and it won't let me do it. So you're going to it's going to walk you through. I will share the video. So there's a how-to video on YouTube. I can't do both. Technology is beautiful. Let me see if I can. You're going to get like the black hole of Windows here for a second because I do want to make sure you get this. So you should be able to see my screen. So under customer relations, you go to import contacts and you're going to see this window. And when you do that, you click next. You select the CSV file. Does the first row contain field names? Yes or no? And then you're going to go through and you're actually going to match up each of these columns that you want to import. And you say, hey, I want this to go underneath their birthday. You do have to edit every one of these tabs if you want it to import. After you line up all of those tabs, you go to next. It's going to tell you how many fields you're selecting, how many contacts you're importing, and if there are lines being skipped. And then you're going to click next. I'm not going to click next. I do not want to import these 1,000 contacts. And it's going to import them all automatically for you. You could see it that way that time, right? I have a bunch of people saying no, 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 but then I think I figured it out. Perfect. Thanks, Jennifer. So you can easily go in and do that from that email that you get. The other thing I want to talk about is sharing your listing on social media. So you can actually go into your listings. Let's see if she has listings. Nope. I got to act as a different person in this demo account so you can actually see. So I can actually go into my listings. And underneath that Actions tab, I can easily share it on Twitter, Facebook. This Google Plus button will be going away because Google Plus is going away. Pinterest, or I can click and I can just open the website. If I open the website, I can actually go in, hit Control X for the website. And if I want to then share it on Facebook, I can actually do this the hard way as well and go to Facebook and paste that in my Facebook link and put that information here. I think it's way faster to just click share this on Facebook and it will link it through. It brings up the property. It makes it look really nice. You can say something about this. You can change if you want to share it to your newsfeed or story by using this drop down box here and saying, hey, I want to share it to my page. But that's how you share it on social media. I believe that was a question a little while ago that I got answered. So Kurt, if you want to share it on LinkedIn, you're going to have to do it the harder way right now. LinkedIn doesn't like auto links. So you would go in, you would open up that website, you would hit Control X, you would open up your LinkedIn. And then you could copy and paste it in here. So I could say, hey, I want to start a post. And I could share it. It's going to load the preview very similarly. Here it is. And then I can erase this and I can write my information here. That's how you would share it on LinkedIn. Absolutely. Let's see. So I want to make sure that if you have questions, they're getting answered. So we're at just about 15 before the hour. I know that your time is valuable. I also know that it is a good day to catch people because it's the most called in sick day of the year today after the Super Bowl. And whoever you were rooting for last night, that was like the longest game ever because they just know nothing happened the whole game. So it is a good time to be catching people. But I do want to make sure I'm answering questions. So I'm available now for open questions. Nikki, you had a question and I didn't understand it. I think that what you're asking is, can I create a QR code and then insert it into content I create and upload it to share it? And the answer to that is yes. If that's not your question, let me know. And I'll unmute you and we can chat. Where is the place to change the new listing template? Stephen, what I believe you're asking is if I've got that new listing email, where can I go change the flyer layout? And I believe that what that is right here underneath that options. You can actually download it or you can click on customize. And then that's where you can go to change it. Yep, so you're just going to go to that customize. When you get that email, you can customize it here. You also can go into your profile to change your default flyer, and that might also be what you're asking. And so I can actually go in and in your IQ office, underneath your profile, preferences, about halfway down, there's a default property flyer, and you can select what you want your default property flyer to be right here. Did that answer your question, Stephen? And Nikki, I do want to make sure you're welcome, Amy. I do want to make sure I'm answering your question. So let me know if that's what you were asking or not. You're welcome, Stephen. Other questions? We're right at about that 45-minute mark. I want to make sure I'm bringing value to all of you. Again, this is being recorded. You're going to get a recap of this. And I just want to say this quickly before a bunch of people jump off. If you don't go in and schedule your time for creating your content and your marketing, you're never going to go back in and do this. And you've just wasted 45 minutes of your life. So what I do every Monday is I actually set my calendar for the week, and I make sure that I'm scheduling time to do my marketing material. I'm making sure that I'm going in and I'm setting the time to create my content and make sure my drip campaigns are done, set up and ready to roll, and that I'm setting at least an hour aside to do that. So I would challenge all of you to open up your calendars right now while we're on the phone and say, hey, I'm going to stay for an hour after this webinar, or hey, Thursday morning from 9 to 10, I'm going to block out a time to go in and put my contacts in and start creating content and campaigns so that my life is a little bit easier. It's super important that you put it on your calendar, or it will not ever happen. You'll just get busy with clients, especially as we get towards the nicer time of the year. It is in sight. Days are getting longer if you're in the northern part of the world. And I do want to make sure that you're doing that. Awesome. So Fabiola, your company might have campaign flyers, and we are in the process of updating some of that information. And what I like to do is I actually go in and I create all my own content. So I go in. I love these. I actually really like. I like these flyers. I think they're classy and nice. I also like that I can change the banner at the top of these. But you also can go in and underneath that marketing content, you can add content and create blank content and upload your own images. So I can actually say this is listing information. And I can actually go in and I can type my information. I can create a table. I can also insert and upload my own information. So I can say, hey, I created this. I'm going to use this as my information. And maybe you have the picture of the house and the sold and the information below. So you can create something totally custom and upload your own images within that blank content. You're welcome, Patricia. Any other questions? If you have a question, someone else probably has a question. And I do want to make sure that I'm getting everybody's questions answered. You're welcome, Kate. Also, I'm just quickly scrolling through. I'm going to get back. I'm going to post on the Facebook page. I'm going to find out the answer to, are they 5x3 postcards only? And also, do you get the list? For postcards, I'll post those answers on Facebook today and get back to you. The other thing, Fabiola, that might work too is if your company can create templates and upload them for all your agents. So if your company has a flyer template that they want to upload and make available for everybody to use, they can do that. Any other questions? I wish that my webcam was like right here so that as I'm reading your questions and doing my screen, you all know that I'm not ignoring you. I'm really just trying to make sure that I'm clicking in the right places. Does everybody have a time scheduled on their calendar? So you need to jump onto your calendar right now and put the day and time that you're going to work on this on your calendar, or about 50-50. But I promise you, if you don't go in and do it, you won't ever come back to this. We all get too busy and it's too hard. And so really the power of writing it down and scheduling it really matters. You too, Kate. We'll see you, I believe, next week. Every Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, we have a webinar. I hope that you can make it. They're all posted on our Facebook page. I'll share that page with you right now so that you can see what it looks like. This is our Facebook page. You can find them. Maybe it is. Lord bless technology. The only people who are not frustrated with technology are the people who are not using it. It's going. We're linking. Perhaps we are. It's called Realistic Users. Let's see if I can do it in a new tab. But the webinars are all posted there. We want to make sure you're getting the information. Terry, are you a manager or are you an agent? Perfect. Are you going to jump on the webinar that's right after this, Terry? There is one today. Today at 9:30, we're doing a manager leads dashboard training, how to access your leads and show that. I can send you that link. Or maybe you and I can schedule just a quick 10-minute session. I can send you the video on how to do that. I believe that we're doing marketing material for admin is on February 11th. So next Monday at 9:30. So for the admins on the webinar today, for all agents, we do an 8 a.m. webinar on Monday mornings. For all admins, we are going to start doing a 9:30 Pacific time a.m. Webinar on, it'll only be about 20 minutes. I know you're very busy on just tips and tricks and little things that you may not know. I'm going to try and keep it as short as I can. If you did not get that, we sent out an email a couple weeks ago about it and we don't want to bombard you. If you did not get that email and you want those links, if you can just shoot me a message in the chat saying send the link, that would be awesome. You got it, Terry. I do want to make sure everybody's getting all the information that they need. It looks like I've answered all the questions. It's about 5 minutes left. I'm going to hang out. But if you have other places to be and other things to do, I want to make sure that I'm valuing your time. So if you have other things to do, please feel free to head out. I hope you all have a fabulous week and enjoy your time. And we will talk to you next Monday. Terry, I'm going to shoot you an email. No problem. No problem. All right, everybody. Any other questions? Alrighty, well then I'm going to end the recording. I hope you have a fabulous week. We'll talk to you next Monday. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, we would love to have you join us on that Facebook page. Let's see. Oh, yep, it did load. So right here is our Facebook page. Please join us. We're here to help you build your business, answer your questions, and really grow using a platform that is meant to be all-encompassing. So manage your contacts, manage your leads, make your life a one-stop shop. So have a fabulous week. We will talk to you soon, and I look forward to hearing from you all.